everyone, I'm Lavanya from YourPedia, and today we are going to study about how you can write an introduction to an IELTS writing task 2, which is an essay. Before we start with the introduction, let us first revise what is the in writing task 2. So, the first thing you need to know is that you are going to be writing an essay in your writing task for IELTS, both for academic and for general. The question and the quality of the question is normally the same. So you don't need to worry that, okay, if I'm in general, I get a more difficult question, or if you're an academic, you have to write more. There's nothing like that. Both the essays will be on the same level. The second thing is that there is a word limit to how much you need to write. And they have given you a minimum word limit, which is 250 words. Okay. So you can exceed this limit by however much you want to. You can write even 500 words, and that is right. But you cannot even write 249 words. Okay. Then that will be dangerous for your score. So always exceed the word limit that is given here. Okay. And you have to attempt this essay in less than 40 minutes. So you have a minimum word limit and a maximum time limit. Now, IELTS writing tasks will give you 60 minutes to do two different tasks. The first is report writing, and the second is essay. As the essay has more importance to your band score, and also it is longer, you will spend 40 minutes on your essay and 20 minutes on your report writing. This is very important. Always practice your essays and your report with the timer with yourself. Okay, it is very important that you learn how to limit how much you're going to write so that it is completed within 40 minutes. Now, next thing you need to know is the kind of essay you'll be writing, and those will be discursive essay. A discursive essay is one that moves from point to point and also includes your opinion about it. So, all the paragraphs that you're going to write in your essay for IELTS will contain a different point in each paragraph, but they will be very well interlinked, and you'll also state your opinion somewhere there, here or there in that essay. Okay. Now, last and the very most important thing you need to know about this is that in your writing task 2 for IELTS, you're going to use a formal style of writing. What does this mean? Formal style. I don't mean like you have to be very polite about it or anything else. Formal style means three different things. The first is that you cannot use any abbreviations. So words like can't or don't, they are not allowed. Okay, you have to use full words like cannot or do not. Second thing is that you cannot use any personal pronouns. What are personal pronouns? These are the words that are used to refer to people. So he, she, it, they. Specifically, they, actually, that is one that is most commonly used. You have to avoid such words. How do you do that? For example, you're writing an essay about how students are under a lot of stress these days. Okay, so you start writing like students in this generation are pressured a lot. They have a lot of homework to do every single day. You see, you use the word they. Instead of that, you have to make sure that instead of saying they or he or she, you use another synonym for students. So you can say mentee, you can say pupil. Okay, use any such words and keep on using newer words every single time. Do not use any personal pronouns. It makes your essay sound informal. The third thing that formal writing includes is that you have to avoid any informal words. What are informal words? These are the words like chill, or you can say vibes. Okay, something that you use in your chats. That words, those specific words that are famous on Instagram or on Facebook, do not use them. This is a very formal, professionally written essay, and hence you have to avoid words like these. Okay, so this was the basic overview about writing task 2. Another thing you need to keep in mind is that there are four different parameters that you will be judged on when you're writing any task for IELTS. These four parameters are very important and you need to keep these in mind. The first one is lexical resources. Lexical resources means vocab. Okay, so you have to use a variety of words, a range of words in your essay to prove that you have a good vocabulary. How do you do that? So remember when I said no use of personal pronouns? That actually ensures that you're using a variety of words for the same thing, using as many synonyms as possible, using different sentence structures so that you can include more different words. That is how you can improve your lexical resources band. The second is task achievement. What does task achievement mean? Task achievement is all about understanding the question. This is actually where most of the students face a problem. Essay writing in IELTS is very different from the essay writing that you have done in your schools. In schools, you were given one topic and a one word topic at that, such as population or pollution or women discrimination. And then you used to write an essay, a long one, on anything that used to be related to the topic. But in IELTS, that is not the case. You will not be getting one word topics. Here, there will be questions and they'll be long. Okay, sometimes there are even 3 or 4 questions included in one. Okay, so what you need to do is that you have to recognize these questions and answer them directly. Give a precise answer. Do not add anything extra or irrelevant. That is very important to get a good score in your IELTS. So task achievement just basically means understanding the question and making sure that your answer is in direct cohesion with whatever is written there. Third parameter that will be judged on is coherence and cohesion. Coherence and cohesion means that your essay should move in a smooth flow. Okay, if as you go from one paragraph to another, from one point to another, everything should be interconnected and interlinked. This also means that you have to use a lot of conjunctions. Okay, conjunctions actually help you a lot to improve your coherence and cohesion. How do you do that? Using words like in addition to, furthermore, moreover, firstly, secondly, lastly, on one hand, on other hand. These words really help you to improve your coherence and cohesion score. Now, last, and probably something that you already expected, the last parameter is grammatical accuracy. This means that for IELTS, you have to make sure that you're using the correct tenses, you're using the correct models, okay? And you're also using the correct quantifiers, like the mistakes for much, more, less, fewer, these things. These should be very clear and you should be using them correctly. Grammatical accuracy is just as important as your vocab, your task achievement, and coherence and cohesion. So do spend some time revising your rules for tenses, quantifiers, articles, and other stuff. All right. Now, let's move on to what the structure of a basic essay in IELTS look like. I'm going to give you the most basic structure. You can obviously alter it according to your needs and questions, but try to follow it as it is given. All right. So, any essay in IELTS is divided into 4 different parts. The first one is introduction, the main focus of today's video. That is introduction. In this, you are just going to introduce your point, state your own opinion, and then kind of like bridge the gap from one point to another for the rest of your essay. You're going to introduce what you're going to say in your essay here in this paragraph. That is it. Second is writing 2 body paragraphs. You can also write 3 if you want to, but that depends on the question. Make sure whenever you're going to write a body paragraph, you are including not more than 2 points in each. All right, this is very important. Do not include 5 to 6 points in just body paragraph because then that will be wrong. Always explain 2 maximum. Explain them very clearly and carefully and add an example. That gives you a perfect band score. Also, if you're going to write a body paragraph 3, make sure that you have enough time to do so. As you remember, you only have 40 minutes to write this whole essay. If you're going to spend writing an extra paragraph, you have to make sure that your conclusion is not impacted by it and that you're not rushing it. Because in IELTS, it's not about the quantity that you're going to write. Okay, they do not care as long as you're exceeding the limit of 250 words. It is about the quality. Okay, so make sure that you're writing good quality content. That is it. Now, the last part is conclusion. Now, in your conclusion, you're going to summarize whatever points that you have written in your body paragraphs in 1 or 2 words, and then you're going to include how your own opinion is biased, or maybe something about a resolution, or maybe a solution to whatever was discussed before. So, every solution normally contains 2 parts, your own opinion plus the summarized points, or summarized points plus a solution to the given problem. All right, I hope everything is clear at this stage. Now let's move on to how you can write a perfect introduction for an essay in IELTS. In your IELTS, you will see that this is the normal length of a question. Okay, we will understand how you write a perfect introduction by taking an example. So the question here states nowadays doctors can become very rich. Maybe they should not only focus on profitable activities such as plastic surgery or looking after rich patients and concentrate more on patients' health no matter how rich they are. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? Now, as you see, they have given us some sample statements that will make you understand the situation that is there. And then they have asked the question that do you agree or disagree with the statement given above? Every introduction for any IELTS academic writing essay, you will include 3 parts to it. Okay, so every introduction will have at least 3 sentences, if not more. Most of the introductions actually include 4 to 5 sentences. All right. So the first statement for your introduction will be an opening statement, which is known as a general statement. What is a general statement? In the general statement, you are first of all going to identify what the crux of the matter is. That is, what are they asking about? What is the main issue that is being discussed here? And then you are going to write a normal opening statement regarding that issue. So it's not really going to directly address what the question is saying, but it is going to mention the crux of the matter in it. I know it sounds a little confusing, but I will tell you how you do this. So let us look at the question here. They are talking about, do you agree or disagree with the notion that doctors should not only focus on the rich patients but also on the health of the poor patients, right? That is the crux of the matter. How much do doctors earn and their moral capability? So your general statement should be something about doctors and how much they can earn. It should not include any information about plastic surgery, nor should it discuss about how people are getting more corrupt these days or how immoral they are nowadays. Okay, it should not be just about greed. It should be focused on doctors. All right. So your statement can something be how doctors, or you can say medical professionals, are getting richer and richer, more and more as more and more years pass by. Or you can say nowadays, being a medical professional means that you have a great bank account. You know, anything, a very simple sentence. You can also say something like how medical professionals these days have a very lucrative business going on. Lucrative means professional, or sorry, it means profitable actually. Okay, that is just your general statement, something that talks about the crux of the matter. And you can always use the words like nowadays, in the current era, in the modern era, in the current days, anything like that. And just say that this is this or this is that. Okay, that's the very first sentence. This is your opening statement. After that, you will add a question statement. A question statement is basically the question reframed, but you have to make sure that you're not using the exact words as they're there in the question. So, for example, in the question, they have written doctors. Instead of writing doctors, we can say medical professionals, right? And the same way, instead of saying rich, we can say that they are very affluent. Affluent means rich. All right. Then instead of saying profitable activities, we can say lucrative activities. Same way, instead of saying plastic surgery or looking after rich patients, we can say that patients who are financially well off. Okay. For poor patients, we can say patients who are economically challenged or financially challenged. All right. So you see, you just basically have to pick certain synonyms and write the same sentence using those synonyms. Okay, this will be your question statement. The last is your thesis statement. Thesis statement is where you take a stand, as in you definitely very concretely say what do you feel about the issue being discussed here. The question here is, do you agree or disagree? That means you can take two ways. You can either 100% agree or 100% disagree, or you can also take a 70-30 approach. That is, 70% agree and 30% disagree, or vice versa. Okay, how do you do so? I'll show you a sample answer to this question. Now, a sample answer is, it is irrefutable that medical profession is a very lucrative field. They are talking about in a general statement how doctors are earning a lot of profit, as I said before. Okay, you just use different words for saying the same thing. In their hands, they hold the lives of people that are their patients. Now we are talking about doctors and their moral capability, which is a major issue here. So till this stage, this is a general statement from here to here. All right. Then I agree that doctors should focus on patients' health regardless of their financial condition, though that doesn't mean that they should dwell into money making plastic surgeries and treatment of rich patients. Okay, so now this is a 70-30 approach. They should focus more on the health of a patient, but that doesn't mean that they should never do anything that makes them a lot of money. A number of arguments around my opinion, and the essay below will discuss that. All right, so this is how you can write a perfect introduction. Write a general statement, then the question reframed, and give your thesis statement as in take a stand very clearly. Let us discuss some more questions so that it is a little bit more clear. Now look at question 2. In many countries, workers over 60 can still be found in the workplace. However, some people think that this may cause social problems and they should be retired. Do you agree or disagree? In this statement, you are given two things to talk about. First is that in many countries, there are still people who should be retired that are working. Second, that people who are working with them feel like they will cause a lot of social problems because of this. Now, do you agree or disagree with this statement? So, here, the major crux of the matter is how retired people are still working and their work ethic, right? That's what the main issue is. So your general statement will be something like that our older generations have always been infamous for having an extreme work ethic. Many people who are still above 60 would like to work or continue to work in their specific fields. That is your general statement because we are just saying that how people are still working. Now, the second statement says this is where we start reframing the question. However, some people think that this may cause social problems and that they should be retired. In this, you can just say many people or many individuals hold the notion that this can cause a lot of issues. Instead of saying social problems, you can say problems in the society, issues in the society. Okay, so there we'll say it can cause many issues in the society because of their negligence or their overworking ethic. Now, after that, you will just state, do you agree or disagree with what the other people are saying? I strongly agree with this opinion, or I strongly agree with this argument, and the essay below will conclude my argument for the sake. All right. So this is how you're going to write a general statement, then a thesis statement, your question reframe, and then at last your thesis statement. These three parts are important and necessary for every essay. Okay. Now let's look at another question just to make sure that everything is very crystal clear. There is too much stress due to work these days. What can employers and employees do about this? Pause the video right now. Try to write an introduction of this on your own. Now, I hope everyone has written an introduction for this. In this, you should notice that they're talking about how workplaces these days cause too much stress and the question asks us, what can we do what do you think that employers and employees can do to solve this issue? So, the major crux of the matter that has been discussed here is stress caused by workplaces. This is a general statement. Nowadays, the workplaces or work pressure has caused a number of people to go into depression or be stressed or be anxious in their lives. This, many people opine, has been caused due to negligence by employers and employees. Or you can even say this, many people opine, is the responsibility of employers and employees to tackle and give a solution to. I believe that there are a number of things that employers and employees can do, or you can even say something like the staff and the managers will use different words. As I said, do not repeat the same exact words that are there in the question. So you can say staff and the managers can do to solve these issues. In the essay below, I will discuss them in detail. And then you can just start saying body paragraph 1, 2, and then your conclusion. That is it. Simple, right? We basically just take the crux of the matter, write a normal sentence about it, something that is relevant today. Then we reframe the question using synonyms, and then we give our own opinion about it. That is it. So I hope everyone, how you write an introduction is clear now, and you will not be making any errors in this. So thank you for joining in today. I'll see you next week with another video that will be more bring you more information about IELTS and how you can attempt a writing task. Have a good day.